Dear viewers, now we have to see and analyze the third stanza of the poem Daffodils written by William Wordsworth. In the third stanza, he has given a comparison between the waves and the delightful state of the dancing daffodils, between the poet and the delightful state of the daffodils. But in every case, the poet has suggested no delightful state would surpass the happiness or delightful state of the dancing daffodils. Let us see the poem. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. The poet, in first two lines of the third stanza, has said, means we see here a comparison between whom? Between the dancing daffodils and the dancing waves or the sparkling waves. We have seen waves. Waves means when wind blows, when breeze blows very slowly, we see waves or ripples. Ripples means small waves in water. What they do? They stretch and come every time to the bank and beat their heads. Who? The waves or the ripples. And when we see ripples in night, there is moonlight or there is moonlight, and we see ripples, and at that time ripples spark. That means we see glazing side of the ripples. And if there is sun in the sky, we also see the same thing. But during night, when we see ripples and when they sparkle, they are more attractive than the ripple of the days. Here, what is seen? It is seen the waves beside them danced. Beside means side. Whose side? By the lake side. We also see the sparkling waves. The sparkling waves are sparkling ripples. The ripples are formed due to the blowing of the wind or blowing of the breeze. And when they make shining, they look very attractive. And we already have seen the daffodils are dancing and the daffodils are fluttering and they are looking very beautiful. The sight is very gay and delightful. And if we compare the sparkling waves and the dancing daffodils, then who will be the first? That means in our common sense, who will be the first? Outdid means surpass. Who will win the race? If we compare between the sparkling waves and the dancing daffodils or fluttering daffodils, the daffodils will surpass. That means the ripples will get or will admit its a defeat. Next, the poet once again has dared to compare we can has dared to compare between whom? Between a poet and the delightful daffodils. The poet is always happy. Why? Because he sings always. And what he sings, we listen and we get pleasure. We subtract pleasure out of those poems. But here, the poet himself has admitted the poet's delightful state is not permanent, is not perpetual, because the poet is gay, the poet is a person. And we know human being suffers since his birth. Since his birth. Because sorrow and suffering is a part of a human being, a part of a life. So, the poet here has admitted a poet cannot be compared with the delightful state of the daffodils, because we have never seen, the poet also has never seen any sort of misery, any sort of sorrow there in the attitude or there in the dancing atmosphere or delightful state of the daffodils. And next, what he has said, the poet could not be but be gay in such a jocund company. Jocund means happy. Jocund means delightful. Jocund means merry. Means if we compare daffodils with a poet, the poet will automatically defeat, because every time the daffodils will surpass, because poet is a gay first of all, poet is gay, next he is a poet. I gazed and gazed but little thought. The poet, while enjoying the beautiful dancing sight of the daffodils, his thinking had stopped. That means his mind never moves forward. That means the beauties of nature, the beauty of dancing, the sight or the beautiful sight of the dancing daffodils, so heart touched and so delightful, the poet is unable to think more or to think beyond the beautiful sight of the daffodils. What wealth the soul to me had brought, it had surely brought a wealth. For whom? For the poet. What wealth? That means the delightful state, the delightful mind now the poet possesses. It gives him peace, and no more he is able to think. Here, in a broad sense, it is said the poet has compared to himself or to poet to waves or to sparkling waves with the daffodils, but every time daffodils have won the race, and we can never compare any person or any beautiful vision, irrespective of natural or artificial, with the dancing daffodils or with the fluttering daffodils. This is all about the third stanza of the poem Daffodils. Thank you very much.